Well, guys, we're here to discuss one of my favorite things. Do you know what that is?
I'm guessing Nintendo Directs, or at least I hope so.
Yeah, that'd be a little bit weird if it weren't, huh? Because they'd have invited you on for this purpose. So we have Ash and Derek here to discuss our predictions for the Nintendo Direct. Nintendo just announced tomorrow at what time, Derek?
5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific.
And it is half an hour long. For context, that is twice as long as the mini Direct that came out back in January. So let me just say, you know, thank God Nintendo finally announced one of these again, because it was reaching that boiling point again, where people were like, where is the next Nintendo Direct? When is this happening? And it's finally here. Real soon. Super soon. So, yeah, what do you got? Are you guys, like, how are you feeling right now about the Direct? We do know it'll cover both 3DS and Switch, so does that kind of, like, temper your expectations? What are you feeling overall on?
I mean, honestly, for me, it's like one of those things like, cool, we're going to find out what else is coming out this year. And I think it's going to be just a relief to get a better idea of what Nintendo has planned, because right now their 2018 has some really great titles, but it's also like, where's that big, heavy hitter? And I think that's what people are hoping for this one, whatever that might actually be. And so I think there is a little bit more excitement for this one just because of the length and the timing of it, and hopefully we can see some stuff that will help us last until E3 as far as excitement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel much the same way as Derek. I mean, I think I'm landing somewhere between, like, it's probably going to be like, you know, a relative non-event and, oh, I'm super hyped. Like, I don't think it's going to be a huge legendary Direct with megaton announcements dropping left and right. I'm not expecting that at all. At the same time, I'm not expecting something as minor as a Direct Mini, so I'm kind of landing somewhere in the middle. I mean, it's definitely true that Nintendo needs to kind of come out swinging with at least a few announcements for the next few months, because after the Switch's incredible first year with, you know, just one first-party release after another, it's understandable that they can't keep that going every month. Of course not. But still, all we really know for sure that I can think of at the moment is Kirby Star Allies, which is coming out in a couple of weeks, really. And yeah, I mean, there are some further off announcements we can predict down the road, but really, we don't have anything solid or concrete in terms of what we know Nintendo's doing for the Switch's second year over the next few months. So I'm thinking we'll get a few, you know, like, decent announcements. I'm just not expecting, like, megatons, like E3 level or anything.
Yeah, I think this is where we will start to see more of their 2018 lineup. I agree, most of the megatons will probably be held for E3. However, I think that we will, I mean, they have to announce they will announce some new stuff here. Like, there's no question in my mind. And this is where they can start giving us, like, something to look forward to. Because right now, beyond Mario Tennis Aces and we don't have much to look forward to. Like, you know, in terms of big new releases, there's of course Tropical Freeze as well, and then there's some DLC we know about, and then there's also Yoshi. So yeah, I think this is where we will actually get something concrete, like something new that we don't know about beyond E3. Or so I hope.
It says something that I completely forgot about Mario Tennis Aces. Or what it says is how much I really, really care about it, obviously. But I totally forgot that's also coming after Kirby.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually in the announcements like, hey, we're gonna have a whole thing on Mario Tennis Aces. More information
it's true.
on it. So.
And that is how little I can. I even have it in front of me, like, oh yeah, Mario Tennis Aces, and that's how easily it slips my mind, because I'm like, oh, it's another Mario Tennis game.
Yeah.
I mean, with 30 minutes, so they got to fill it with something. So I do think there will be some exciting stuff here. And
yeah. Should we get the big one out of the way? Because this is always going to be the one that gets brought up right off the bat.
Are you going to steal my thunder here, Derek?
I'm going to try to, yes.
Okay, well, then I'm going to predict it.
All right, then you do it.
I think Smash Brothers will be shown off here.
Really?
I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance.
Wow. I was going to say no, like not until closer to E3 or at E3, really.
I agree with him.
Yeah, I've been beating the Smash Brothers drum for how long now? You guys know I've been on this forever. And I've been saying it will either come out this year or if not early the first quarter of next year. So here's where I land on this. If it gets announced in this Direct, then it will come out this year. If it doesn't, it'll probably be announced at E3 and it'll come out next year. But to keep things interesting, I'm going to say it'll be announced here. I don't think we'll get a whole ton about it, but I do think we will get at least one new character. And what I'm predicting is we're going to see some characters fighting, like Mario, Link, you know, the usual group. We got Kirby there. You're going to see some ink fly in, hit them in the face. Camera's going to pan over, there's going to be an inkling right there. So,
man, I would love that. I love the way you think, but I'm still thinking Smash is going to be closer to E3 or at E3. However, I do still think it's going to be a holiday 2018 game. I do still think it's coming out this year, but I don't think it's going to be announced tomorrow. I think we got to wait a couple more months for that, or at least until E3. But I'd love to be wrong. This is one of those things I'd really love to be wrong.
See, I'm still stuck on the fact that the Nintendo's Online is coming in September. To me, that's when Smash Brothers is hitting, if we're getting Smash Brothers this year, because that's how you launch this service. You have a very good online setup for Smash. It's all set. You have a huge fan base willing to spend the money and get that online service so they can be able to play Smash Brothers online and have things ready to go and people excited for it. And so it makes sense to me. Now, I don't know if we're going to get a new character or anything like that, or we're just going to get a Smash Brothers coming. Like, when I say that we're going to get a Smash Brothers announcement, I mean, by the way, before we end, here's Smash.
There is no way they show off a new Smash without showing off a new character. No way.
Yeah, they know that's the main draw. Yeah. Sakurai knows that's the main draw. There's no way that they announce Smash Switch, whatever form that ends up taking, without debuting a new character or teasing a new character at least.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, going off of Andre's idea, the best way to do is to make it look like there's some sort of connection to Kirby Star Allies, and like have Kirby in some sort of video, and then have the other new character pop up. They have that swerve.
They already played with my heart to that whole Kirby thing once too much before. I cannot take another one of those.
I know, right? Yeah.
I mean, this is Sakurai. He would do it.
That's true. He would.
Like, you thought it was going to be Kirby Air Ride 2. Instead, it's Smash.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be amazing. I mean, I wouldn't put my life savings on it, but I really
God, no.
I really hope that ends up happening. I mean, if it doesn't, like I said, I am predicting it this year, so it's just a matter of when. So if not this direct, E3, and regardless, I'm super stoked. All right, moving on. I think we should do some house cleaning here. We should get the obvious ones out of the way, or at least what I think are obvious, but we should just kind of maybe barrel through these. Detective Pikachu, it'll be shown. They said 3DS games. I don't know what else more there is to show on 3DS.
Actually, with Detective Pikachu, and I saw Joe Merrick mention this, the demo for the game came out in Japan, I believe, yesterday. So it would make a lot of sense for them to have the English demo released for the game after the Direct.
That's
my big prediction for that.
I think that's spot on. And I was actually surprised when they didn't put out a press release or anything to coincide with our own preview embargo. But, they'll talk about stuff we now already know, like the fact it's 3 times the length of the original Japanese version, is split into chapters now, has an easy mode. They'll go over all of that here, which, if you saw our previews, won't be news to you. But we'll also see some gameplay from some of those later chapters as well, I think, in a new trailer or something. Mm-hmm. Next up, we'll see, they already talked about that we'll find out more about Mario Tennis Aces, right, Derek?
Oh yeah, they already said we're going to find out more about Mario Tennis Aces. We'll probably see new characters, new chords, maybe a little bit more of that story mode. I'm predicting a release date as well.
Right, so let's get a little bit specific here. I am going to predict it will be announced for May, and we'll see, and one of those new characters will be Pauline.
Ooh.
Yeah, that sounds pretty likely, I would say. Mm-hmm. Both of those things. I think we're going to see Pauline take her victory lap around various, Mario sports games whenever they end up, the next iterations of various games when they come out. I can just see her kind of being grandfathered in as like a repeat playable character, much like Rosalina and other, mainstay characters.
She better be in everything from here on out.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that also sets the stage for a New Donk City Court.
Oh, God, that'd be so great.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so great.
Do you think they'll actually bring back any of the, more human-like characters from the old tennis games? Like, I forget some of the actual characters' names, but, for the handheld games in the series.
I don't.
No?
Yeah, I don't think they will. No one cares, except for I think it was Roger, maybe, that cared. Yeah, I think they're done with those human characters, so... Alright, another prediction. I mean, that's an obvious one, I think. Well, maybe... I don't know, maybe not. So we already found out about the Mario and Rabbids DK DLC in the last mini direct. I think we might actually see some gameplay this time, because we didn't get an exact release date beyond spring. So I think we will get a release date now, and I think we'll actually see how it plays as opposed to just the really nice rendered trailer.
That makes sense. I can definitely see that.
Alright.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty safe.
I think we'll see more of Labo. Perhaps not much, because it seems like they are kind of treating that as its own separate thing. But it is coming out in April, so it would make sense to show it off. And I think they could even show off some stuff that they haven't really shown much of officially, such as Labo Garage, which I explained in my discussion with my niece, which, by the way, go check out because it's awesome. We got to see a little bit more of how it worked, what all you can build with it, like a vending machine, for instance, or a guitar you can play. It's really nuts, so I could see them really leaning into that angle for Labo.
I'm actually going to disagree. I think they're going to keep the Labo stuff separate from their gaming stuff.
Yeah, I actually agree with that,
treat Labo on its own.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna come down on your side here, and I agree. I don't think we're gonna see Labo tomorrow. It has felt so far that Nintendo's trying to keep the two markets at least somewhat separate, and just kind of really putting a soft line in the sand there. I'm not saying it's impossible, and I won't be super surprised if we do see Labo, but I kind of think it's not gonna be part of the Direct.
Yeah.
We will see. Do you think we'll see more Tropical Freeze? Because this is one I'm not too sure on. Because on the one hand, yeah, of course we will, because it's coming out in May, and it is an awesome game. On the other hand, what more can they show?
Yeah, they've already shown Funky Kong, and I don't really know what else. It's unless they're adding new levels and other actual new content that they just didn't show off before, I don't really know what else they could show.
Yeah.
That's really tricky because in that, minute-long reveal of Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, we got all the basics. We know it's coming to Switch, we know it has playable Funky Kong, we know its release date. Okay, there we go. I actually have one of my own as far as a very likely thing that's going to happen, and Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. We don't actually have a release date for that in the States or the rest of the world, I suppose. So I do think that's going to be an obvious thing they're going to show off is just Definitive Edition, here's the release date.
Yeah, well, you stole my thunder because I was actually going to predict the same exact thing because it's I think it makes complete sense that we'll get a firm U.S. release date for Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. However, there's another game coming up in May that I think will also get a release, or sorry, we already have a release date for, but we haven't seen a whole lot about it really, and that's Dark Souls Remastered. I think we're going to get maybe a trailer or at least some gameplay footage maybe, just because we know that's coming in May. And it was announced in the last Direct with no footage.
Right.
So I feel like this would be a good time to maybe debut a little footage and just kind of whet those appetites for this remaster of a super popular game that's coming out in just 2 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you.
I think we're going to see a little bit of Kirby Star Allies. I think they're going to reveal some feature they haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, or even just a launch trailer or something.
It almost sounds like a wink there. I can see you winking there, almost.
I know winking. I mean, here's the thing. We always know there's extra modes that there, so they might show off one of those extra modes.
That'll make sense.
That'd be my guess.
Yeah, I mean, I actually almost forgot, because we had that game. It's almost instantly discounted, but you're right. We'll absolutely see Kirby, and what you're saying there makes complete sense, so. Mm-hmm. All right, anything else?
I think that's it, although I don't know whether this counts as house cleaning or not, but with Yoshi, do you think we'll actually see that this time around and get a release date or get a release window and an actual title?
I don't know. Let's move into predictions. Derek, what do you think?
I do think we're going to get that. I think at the very least we're going to get a title and a better, a clearer idea of what we're in for with Yoshi,
I think you're right. I agree with that because we already know the game exists. We've already seen a lot of it. We've probably still seen more of that somehow than we have of Kirby. Actually, we haven't, but yeah, I think it's time to finally give us a release date. I don't think E3 is quite the time to do it. This seems to be like a lower key title, so it makes sense to kind of blow it out a little bit more here and now. Maybe not fully. And I have a wild prediction, but maybe it probably won't happen here. But I'll go ahead and say it out there so it can be on the record. I think they will announce some kind of Labo tie-in with this before it comes out. And more specifically, I don't think it'll get its own Labo, but I think it'll make use of existing ones. Most potentially, perhaps, the house one, and use it as in a type of a diorama type mode, where you can move characters or creatures around and interact with them by plugging things into the house.
Yeah, I could see that being a possibility, at least. I mean, of all of the upcoming Switch games that we know about, I feel like the new Yoshi game has the likeliest possibility of its Labo tie-in.
Build out of cardboard, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, it's funny about Yoshi, because I was thinking that too, but I'm on the fence about it, because it makes complete sense that we'd get more information about it tomorrow and get some more solid info. But at the same time, it also, because Kirby Star Allies is barely coming out, and, it still hasn't come out, it feels like it's a bit soon. for them to blow out Yoshi, but at the same time, it also makes sense for them to. So I'm kind of on the fence. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Yoshi tomorrow, but at the same time, I mean, I agree that it doesn't make sense to blow that out at E3 because it's not a big enough title, but I still feel like it's a bit early, strangely enough. So I'm wondering if we might get more Yoshi info and like a dedicated Yoshi Direct, like a mini Direct at some point down the road a little bit before E3. I don't know, it just feels like it's a little bit soon.
Considering the fact that Kirby never got a Direct, and
That's
I
true.
feel like Kirby's
Yeah.
bigger than Yoshi, I don't see its own dedicated Direct happening.
Yeah, no, that's all true. It just feels a bit soon to me, but at the same time, I can see why we would probably see Yoshi tomorrow as well.
This feels like a July-August game to me.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely a summer release, I would say.
I guess actually there is one more potential house cleaning thing, and it actually might veer into something we'll also cover later on at the end of this discussion. The PokéMon DLC. There's more coming, right?
Yes, we got Blastoise along with Celebi and Mew Assist Pokemon coming to the game at some point. So likely get that shown off, get a release date, all that stuff, and have that ready to go. It's sort of like it's a known quantity at this point, yeah. But yeah, going off of Pokken though, I will say we're not seeing Pokemon tomorrow. Like that.
Nah.
Pokemon, it tends to be its own thing.
Derek, you gotta open up with official prediction. We're moving into predictions now. So you're predicting no Pokemon tomorrow.
I didn't realize we had to announce that.
It's official
though.
now.
Okay, official prediction. We're not going to see Pokemon tomorrow.
Okay.
That usually Pokemon Company does their own thing, completely separate from Directs. It is very rare that they actually are part of Directs. Like, it'll be a huge break in tradition if we actually see Pokemon tomorrow, and I think that's going to be something for a little later on. Like, I can maybe see their own thing happening in April or May, but definitely not as part of this Direct.
Yeah, totally agreed. I don't think we'll see it here either. I think there's a chance we will see it this year, if not come out this year even, in which case, yeah, we would see it this year. But yeah, I think they'll do their own thing again, like Pokemon Company tends to do, so...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm completely in agreement. There's no way we're seeing Pokemon tomorrow. At least I don't think so.
Okay, well, one game I think that there is a chance we may see. Actually, I'm giving this prediction on behalf of Roger, who couldn't join us today, but I agree with them, is because he was predicting it specifically in the last Direct predictions, and it didn't happen, and that is Fire Emblem Switch. He thinks it's going to happen. I think he's right. What do you guys think?
I think he's absolutely right.
Yeah, I think so.
It's time. People are curious about it. We know it's coming. It's time to show off what it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. It feels like it's time to give us more information about that because it's still so nebulous. All we really know about it is, it's a new Fire Emblem title for Nintendo Switch. That's literally all we know. So if this is coming this year, which we know that it is, at least based on what Nintendo said so far, it seems like it's time for them to give us some more information about it. I don't know if we'll get a solid release date yet, but definitely probably a name, some solid details about the gameplay, stuff like that.
But when's it coming out, Ash? Even if we may not get a release date, when do you think?
I think somewhere maybe September, October.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
This feels like an October game to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have a minor prediction. It's not one that people care about, I don't think, but I do think that we'll get maybe a new wave of Arcade Archives title announcements. Just because that was kind of like a surprise new thing that Nintendo started doing with like versus Super Mario Brothers and versus Punch-Out, although that one's not out yet. But I do think we might get 2 or 3 more low-key Arcade Archives reveals. Again, not really a big deal, but I could see it happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the other things we'll probably see, an official prediction, Andre. I think we're actually going to see quite a few third-party games this time around.
And, I'll hop into that with my prediction that we'll see Diablo 3.
Yeah, that was going to be mine as well.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
I've been saying, we'll be, the wave of incoming third-party releases is happening, or announcements at least. And I think that will continue with this one. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I think we'll see, as you guys said earlier, I believe, more Dark Souls. I think we'll see Diablo 3. And who knows, what else they might announce. There's so many predictions we could go off of.
Yeah. We might finally see Dragon Quest XI on the Switch.
Wouldn't that be something? As I just covered in our NX video, that was literally the first official NX game, the first Switch title technically announced that never came out.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll maybe see something of that. And going off the whole Bandai Namco thing, and Ash, we might actually get Ridge Racer 6 announced. I think it's 6.
You mean Ridge Racer 8?
8, whatever.
Yeah, that would be
Ridge Racer number.
incredible. If that ends up being true and we actually got that announcement, that would be the best news I could possibly hope for. I'm not saying I necessarily think that'll happen. That feels like it might be more an E3 type thing. But if it did, oh, that would be so cool, no matter when it happens. Speaking of Square Enix, though, and I guess this is an official prediction, I feel like we might get some new information on Octopath Traveler tomorrow. I don't know about a release date. I feel like a release date might be coming closer to E3, but maybe a new trailer, some solid information about more characters than just the 2 we've met so far. So I could see there being some Octopath Traveler info tomorrow.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. I could see it happening because I know that's a highly anticipated release. Everybody that's tried that demo loves it and they want to see more. So
yeah,
I think Square Enix knows they have something big on their hands. Going off of Square Enix, I think we might see, if we don't see Dragon Quest XI, I think we'll see maybe Dragon Quest Builders 2. Since we know that's coming.
Okay.
I think it's supposed to release this year. Might release in Japan first, and I'm not quite sure if we'll get it this year. So I'm not quite sure how they'll treat it. But I could see that kind of happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's not impossible for sure. I don't know if I'd say it's super likely, but I could see that happening.
All right. Since we've kind of been talking about ports to some degree with third-party games, I'm going to say we will learn of yet another Wii U port. I think we will. I mean, I think there's at least there's probably gonna be a few more on the way over the course of the next year. I think we'll find out about another here. And I think John's video that he posted during our Switch Week had a great list of possible candidates, including 3D World, New Super Mario Bros. U, and Captain Toad's Treasure Trackers. So I'm gonna say like one of those, maybe.
God,
Man,
Captain Toad Treasure Tracker makes so much sense.
Yeah, of that list, I think I'd prefer to have Treasure Tracker.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, I would love to have that in a handheld format, and obviously the Switch is just built for the kind of game Treasure Tracker is. So I would love to see that. Although I'm gonna put out a little prediction: if we do get a Treasure Tracker port, I kind of think it's gonna be a port with new stuff. Like I feel like it might be like a Treasure Tracker 1.5 and not just a straight port, because it feels like the kind of game that they could very, easily. I say easily, of course. Level design isn't easy, but you know what I mean. I feel like they could, throw a few extra levels in there, a few extra worlds, and just kind of make it feel like at least a refreshed package, if not entirely new.
Mm-hmm. And the way to split it up into chapters would be really easy. Just, tack on another 2 or 3 books, and there you go.
Yeah.
That's how you add new content.
I have a prediction. It's kind of related to this. And I was thinking about Atlas earlier, and we were talking about the 3DS and how, we don't really know what's coming up for the 3DS beyond, really the next month or so. And I was thinking about the fact that Persona Q2 was announced in Japan, but still hasn't really, received a release date here. So I'm wondering if there's a chance that might come over. We might get a release date announcement about that. But related to that, I was thinking Tokyo Mirage Sessions would be a good, and of course this is one of the games that was covered in our video, but I feel like that would be a good candidate for re-release, and I just wonder if Atlas has anything they're releasing tomorrow, I could see that being something.
That would be a good one. I don't know if they do it this soon. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say,
Yeah, that makes it really tricky. I'm not quite sure where they'll go from there. And actually kind of related to that, since you mentioned 3DS, is like, they did say we'll get 3DS games, unless they just mean Detective Pikachu. Do you think we'll see any new 3DS games?
Yeah, I mean, beyond, and you mean first party? I mean, I don't know. Like, Persona Q2 is one of the only upcoming third-party releases I can think of, and we know Atlas has strong Western support. I mean, they just released Radiant Historia, Perfect Chronology, on the 3DS in 2018, so that wouldn't surprise me. But in terms of first-party stuff, I mean, Nintendo has said that they remain committed to, 3DS output, but I don't see what they could do that would get people excited, or not get people just saying, well, why, that's great, but I want this on Switch instead.
Yeah, I mean, what else? We had Detective Pikachu. Do you think they would sage about Switch and 3DS just for that game? They have to have something else there. What could it be? Pokemon? Getting back to Pokemon?
Oh,
another 3DS Pokemon game?
I mean, if it was like a Mystery Dungeon title or something like that I think people would be okay with it, or a new Pokemon Conquest, but if it's the actual Pokemon, all people would riot.
Yeah, they would. That would not be good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm totally tapped on what other 3DS stuff they could announce. Partially because I also don't really care about any more 3DS projects.
And I think that's the thing, is that's what makes me so curious, is that a lot of people don't care. All I can see is anytime they announce some kind of new game for 3DS is, why is this not on Switch?
Yeah. Okay, well, let's go ahead and discuss, or rather, I'm going to predict a few things that I think won't be there. and one of which I think is Animal Crossing. I don't think it'll be here, which I acknowledge might seem weird in light of the fact I think Smash will be there. But yeah, no Animal Crossing, but I'm going with Smash. I don't think we'll see any more Pikmin either. I think they'll hold that until E3, if it even still exists, or what's going on with Pikmin 4, I mean. And actually, I guess that's pretty much it. And I guess we won't end the online service. I don't think we'll learn anything more about it here either.
Actually, jumping off that, I don't think we'll see Metroid Prime 4.
Oh yeah, no, that's totally E3.
That's an E3.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, not a question. That's E3, and whatever Retro's next project is beyond Tropical Freeze with Funky Kong is going to be E3 too. So
yeah. Well, if we're talking about what's not going to be there, I have the boldest prediction ever, you guys.
My God.
Mother 3 is not going to be there.
Yeah, you're right.
I called it. See, if it's not there, you heard it here first.
That's definitely more bold than my Smash Brothers prediction.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
All right. Well, do we have any other predictions at all, or are we done there?
There's been a lot of talk about Secret of Mana. Maybe we'll actually get that collection port, or at least the remake port on the Switch.
I feel like the remake port no one even cares about it anymore. It has to be the collection.
Yeah,
I hope.
Collection would be better.
Yeah, I think the collection would be more interesting just from a consumer standpoint, just because that is actually Switch exclusive, whereas the remake, not only is it also available on PS4 and PS Vita, but, you know, I mean, it's okay, but it's not the best remake ever. So I feel like there wouldn't really be that much excitement surrounding an announcement of the remake coming to Switch.
Mm-hmm. I think we might see some more of The World Ends With You, or at least get a release date, since we got it announced last time, but we don't know when it's actually coming out. So that's a possibility. Mm-hmm. And then do you think we actually might see anything from Travis Strikes Again?
I think that's definitely possible. Yeah, I was actually thinking we'd probably see something about Travis Strikes Again. I don't know if it'll be gameplay or just a new like stylistic cinematic trailer, but I do think it's going to make an appearance actually.
Well, that actually might be a good segue into something else I wanted to bring up here, and that is rumors. Everyone's favorite thing, rumors. So apparently, this Nintendo Direct was actually someone called Vandal Leaks on Twitter. Announced yesterday that there would be a Direct today, and sure enough, that was correct. Could be luck of the draw. I know literally nothing else about this individual beyond that one prediction, but they gave some more, and I figured, you know what, since they nailed the Direct, let's go and discuss everything else that they're saying might come in this Direct. One of which was, in fact, Travis Strikes Again. And they're saying that it'll debut a gameplay trailer featuring single Joy-Con co-op gameplay, which is something I think we found out about in our own interview, I believe. I believe he mentioned he wanted to make it playable with a single Joy-Con. But yeah, apparently we'll see actual gameplay of it. So, do you think that'll happen?
I think gameplay is very likely. If we see anything from Travis Strikes Again, it's got to be gameplay, because the thing is, we've known about this game for a long time. We still don't know how it plays.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it really does feel like it's time for us to learn more about how the game actually plays and what it's really all about. And I think tomorrow is the perfect chance to do that.
Okay, great. Next up, Vandal says that we'll learn more about the Pokémon DLC, as we kind of already touched on, including Blastoise, Mew, and Celebi, and it will come out on March 23rd. And then we'll also see a silhouette of an unknown Pokemon for a later date.
That makes sense to me, especially the first part, because, again, those are known quantities that all make sense. The silhouette of an unknown Pokemon also makes sense, because with the addition of Blastoise and, I'm blanking on who the other Pokemon that added in was. Anyway, the other Pokemon, Aegislash, actually. There we go.
Right.
That left a space in the character select screen, and it's like, it's ugly as hell. It's not... organized whatsoever. So it's just like, perfect spot for a new character. So this makes complete sense to me. I think it could actually happen.
Right.
Well, and I think all Pokemon fans will join me in agreeing that the obvious best choice for that extra space is Vanillux. Come on, ice cream Pokemon. Clearly, that's going to be the last Pokken DLC character. Come on.
I want the garbage Pokemon, the one that just looks like...
Oh, Garbodor, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Now, here's one, actually. This one's actually pretty exciting, and I'll be straight up, it's one I did not expect this soon. I did expect it at some point, but not this soon, and not this specific as well. Vandal is saying We will get new premium DLC for Super Mario Odyssey announced tomorrow in the Direct. Mario will get 2 DLC sets in the following months. The first on April 25th, which is only a few days after Labo, by the way, and it will include a brand new Luigi's Mansion-based kingdom with 43 new stars for players to get. If that is accurate, holy crap. I never predicted, first off, again, this soon, but I did predict new kingdoms at some point. Did not see a Luigi's Mansion 1 coming, again, if that's true. If that ends up happening, I will be in love with this. Because I feel like Odyssey was kind of missing that darker type kingdom, like a ghost house or something. This would more than make up for it. And, you know, at the same time, this kind of serves as your Sunshine tie-in, because not only did they come out similar times, but Sunshine also had like the little ghost house that even made a reference to Luigi's Mansion. So yeah, there you go. This is your Sunshine Kingdom right here.
You're only saying that so that if this is true, the second DLC set isn't actually Delfino Isle.
I mean, it would make sense to me.
I mean, it would make sense, and I know, but I know that's the last thing you would want.
Come on, the bomb battlefield.
But yeah, no, that would be crazy.
Actually, it just made me think. There were no boos in Odyssey, were there?
None. The only boo was in Peach's hair. She wore it in Bowser's Kingdom, I believe.
Okay, yeah. So, this makes complete sense to me. Get some boos in there. We already know how capturing a boo would work. It'd just be like the Boo Mario power-up from Odyssey 2, or Odyssey. Not Odyssey, or
Galaxy.
Galaxy.
Right, Galaxy.
Well, and
2.
that's what I was going to touch on. Like, obviously, yeah, there really are no boos in Super Mario Odyssey. Do you think that this new DLC would include new Cappy abilities? New capture?
Of course.
Oh, absolutely.
That's not a question.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm already thinking about something kind of cool, and that is capturing a boo might be a little bit tricky, because if you're looking at them, they're going to get all shy and stuff, right? And they're going to turn invisible, so you can't capture them. So you're going to have to throw the hat behind them, turn Mario around, so the boos are chasing you, and then have Cappy come back in and capture it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see
that'd be
that.
cool.
Yeah, darn right. I just called it. I guarantee it.
I think the only, and I obviously agree with you. I've always, kind of thought and hoped that premium Super Mario Odyssey DLC was coming. They would add entire new kingdoms to explore and get new power moons. But, I mean, and of course, I do think that's going to happen. But if this is true, 43, well, this says 43 stars, but 43 moons, whatever.
Right.
I mean, with the way Mario Odyssey just kind of doles out power moons like candy, I could see that taking a couple of hours at most to complete, which seems like it wouldn't be, significant enough. I feel like that, if there is going to be DLC like this, that it would be a little meatier. And of course, we don't know. I mean, all the moons could be difficult to get in the premium DLC. I'm just saying, with the way Odyssey is structured, getting 43 moons, I feel like would take.
I mean,
That
I think
doesn't bug me that much, honestly, because it's still, that would still be the length of any other of the
exactly right
worlds,
I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing. I'm just wondering if there's maybe more to, if this is true. I'm just wondering if there might be more to this than just 43 new power moons in a
probably
new kingdom.
new costumes as well.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, well, we already know from the data mine that there are probably new costumes coming. So
I mean, it'd be kind of cool to spread out if they added some new stars to existing kingdoms too, wouldn't it? Like add a few more.
That's kind of what I'd really like to see. Yeah,
make it feel like a little bit more of an adventure, like in the spirit of the original game. And spirit's a fitting term, given this might be Luigi's Mansion. But let's just say it is a one kingdom, or rather, I guess two. They're saying. Do you think they'll be sold together or separately? And what price would you pay for this?
I see it being sold separately with a season pass option, probably $20.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, you can probably get them both in a bundle for $20, and then maybe buy them separately for, I don't know,
12.
11. Yeah, whatever would make it slightly more than 20 if you bought them, separately. And you'll probably get like maybe a bonus costume too, or some sort of small bonus if you, like a hat or something, if you get the season pass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you think we'll see the actual ghosts from Luigi's Mansion, not the generic, not generic?
Oh, not the ones we're talking about. No, I don't think we'll actually see the actual ghosts, unless they're the NPCs.
I kind of feel like we will see them. I don't know if they'll be enemies, but it would be kind of a waste to have a whole Luigi's Mansion kingdom without at least paying homage to some of the ghosts from that game, whether you fight them or they just appear in, I don't know.
I mean, I just hope for EGAD.
Yeah.
Yeah, EGAD has to be part of it. If this is happening, EGAD would have to be in there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I totally agreed. In fact, I hope that there is some kind of... part of what makes Mario Odyssey fun to go through, at least for the first half of the game, is that there is, like, some story stringing you along. Like, some story to look forward to until you get that 500th moon or whatever, and then it's basically done. I still had fun, but I hope that they do add, like, some kind of local-based story at least. Like, why is this kingdom here now? Like, or why are you they're looking for power moons here. Like, I don't know, some kind of mystery to unravel or something.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to another Vandal prediction, saying that Grezzo's staff introduces Ever Oasis Sagas. It is a remake of 2017's Ever Oasis on the Unreal Engine, includes 6 new characters and new zones to battle and explore.
This is shocking to me.
Yeah, this is a part of this that like makes me raise my eyebrows. Like, okay, Vandal leaks. Like, do you really? If there's anything in this this tweet list of things that he's saying or she's saying is happening, this is the one that makes me kind of recoil a bit. Because why? Why would this? This is a remake that no one asked for of a game that very few people cared about.
But this is also Grezzo's original thing, so I can see them trying to get a more of an audience for it. I mean, it's one of those things where it's so out there that I could almost see it,
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, I did enjoy Ever Oasis. I never got the chance to finish it because it did get a little bit too repetitious after a certain point. But what is there is engaging, and to have it, I don't know, just expanded upon, maybe fix some of those issues. I think Ever Oasis would be a pretty fine title as an action RPG, town building type thing.
Okay, but whether or not you think it'd be cool, do you think it's happening? Do you think that is legit?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say yes.
Yeah, I guess I could see it happening, but I don't know if I predict that it's gonna happen.
And this kind of speaks to whether you think any of this is going to happen or not with these.
I know. I guess. I mean, this is of all this stuff. This is the hardest thing for me to get behind. But I could see it happening. So, yeah.
All right. Well, the final Vandal prediction here is backing up what we suggested earlier with there being a Fire Emblem Switch. Specifically, he's saying the Fire Emblem Elegy for the Brave debuts on Nintendo Switch this summer, and there will be a CG trailer showing off for it. So there we go. There's our full title and our announcement, and it's coming even sooner than we were saying earlier, being in summer, according to him.
See, that's the only part I'm unsure. We've seen very quick turnarounds from reveal to release on the Switch before, so it's very possible. It just seems it might be a better time for it, especially if Smash does come out in September. So that one's hard for me. I mean, sure, the title might be the case or not. Yeah. I could definitely see it just being a CG trailer, though.
Yeah.
I will say that is a Fire Emblem ass sounding title if I've ever heard one.
It does. I was thinking it really does sound like an actual fire.
I don't think you can make up a title that sounds that realistic.
Yeah, I mean, it actually, I was thinking that. I mean, of course, it's technically possible to come up with this title, but I was thinking about that. I'm like, this doesn't feel like the kind of title that would be guessed necessarily. So that kind of does lend at least an unofficial element of truth to it, even if obviously it's not hard evidence we can point to. But this doesn't feel like, as you said, Andre, a name that somebody would just come up with as a fake.
If it ends up being fake, my hat's off to them for that title alone.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. Any final thoughts, guys? How are you feeling right now about this direct? Are you more hyped than you were going in? Less hyped? Where are you feeling right now?
I think if some of Vandal's leaks, predictions, I don't know, whatever what you want to call rumors, let's go with, turn out to be true, we're in for a pretty good direct. If we get Smash, people will whatever else might have been shown. If Smash ends this direct, people will love it to death.
Yeah, if Smash that's all you need. It could literally just be 30 seconds of Smash, and you already have one of the best directs in recent memory.
Exactly. I mean, Smash is really all. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. But I think we're going to have a pretty good direct that really shows what we're in for a good chunk of 2018, at least to get us to E3, maybe a bit beyond E3, and to basically get to the fall. So I don't know. I think I have some confidence in this one. I'm not super hyped on anything like that. I just think I think we're in for some good stuff. So I'd put my hype level about 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I think I'm a little slightly more hyped now than I was going into the predictions discussion. Maybe I've gone from a 6 to a 7, or maybe around that. I mean, it's kind of like I said before. I'm not expecting a lot of megatons necessarily, but I do think it is going to be a solid direct. I think we're going to get some notable announcements that are going to take us to E3, like Derek said, slightly beyond. But I do think the true megatons are going to be reserved for E3 or near E3. And obviously, if Smash does show up tomorrow, that's all this direct is going to need. And if it does end with Smash, it's a 10 out of 10 direct, period, for most people, I think. But I do think that we're probably not going to get Smash until closer to E3. So that's still my prediction, but I'm a little more excited coming out of this discussion than I was going into it. So I'd say I'm around a 7 out of 10 hype, kind of like Derek.
Real quick, Ash, do you think we'll see anything from the Mega Man X collection or 11?
You know, I was thinking about that. I don't know, just because, Capcom did just release their own launch trailer. So I was going to say no for Anniversary Collection 1 and 2, only because Capcom just did their own release date trailer and announcement thing. But this would be a good time to give us some more information on the format of the Mega Man X releases coming to Switch. So that I could see maybe happening possibly.
All right. I'm going to go, I think I'm 8.5 right now in overall hype. Yeah, I'm feeling it this time. I'm the one who's predicting Smash. I think that there's a chance we'll see it here, a good chance. And if that's the case, then yeah, of course it's going to deliver. Unless they somehow drop the ball on Smash, which would be, very difficult to do. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. The Vandal predictions, if they end up being true, would be fantastic. So yeah, I think 8.5 is about where I'm at. So I really can't wait to see what ends up happening tomorrow, and yeah, what form all these announcements might take. So on that note, I think we're about done here. So thanks guys for watching. If you liked the discussion, make sure to like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain. You can find links to them in the description below. It's a good way to keep up to date on everything we post. And of course, stay tuned to GameXplain for lots more on the Nintendo Direct, including, I'm sure, tons of analysis videos and discussions, and everything else Nintendo as well. Catch you later. Bye.